my little narwhals. I think that's what I'm gonna call you guys for now, cause my boyfriend, he's always just like, you know, singing the narwhal song, and I don't know why, he just loves narwhals. So I think I'm gonna call you guys narwhals for now, because that is his thing, my cute little narwhals. Anyway, I love recording consecutive videos. So I just finished, episode 3? Yeah, I think episode 3 of First Time Fanfictions, and I read this fanfiction, The Weekend Routine by Banana Phone, that is a alternate universe on Adventure Time, and it's great. Check out that episode. It might be in the link below, or I might put the URL up on screen. I don't know what I'm about to do. But anyway, so let us try to find another fanfiction. So let's go with video games. Ivan Hart. Oh, I watched another YouTuber, one of my favorite YouTubers, Manly Badass Hero, play 1-Bit Heart. Go check out his channel. He's a fucking boss, and I love him to death. Oh, he's so awesome. So awesome. Link to his channel will be down in the description. Subscribe to his channel. He is so fucking awesome, and sorry. Alright, let's look for a... I'm going to have to go with Alice is Dead, because I played this on my channel, and, yeah. Oh, there's only 2. No! Alright. So, alright. So let's just find another one. Ooh, I wonder, I love this game. Pandora's Tower. No! Oh, no! Okay, that's one of my favorite video games, anyway. So, let's just find a random. I'm just gonna click on the first one I see, and... Okay, My Candy Love. I've never actually heard of that. Murdered Suspected. Mortal Kombat. It's too famous of a game. I think we're gonna go with this one. Actually, Murdered Soul Suspect. Oh, okay. I'm reading here. This game does not have a fanfiction written for it. One-sided attraction pair plus collegiate women. Okay. Major character death. Graphic depictions of violence. Let's go with the sledding one. Yeah. This is the sledding one, right? Yeah. Alright, so this is the Murdered Soul Suspect game that I have never played before. If you guys have, like, played it or something, like, recommend it to me, or, like, tell me about it down in the comments below, because it sounds awesome! So, yes! So this is A Winter Midnight, based on Murdered Soul Suspect fanfiction by a.k.a. Shawflip's Desk. Sorry if I totally butchered your fucking name. Okay, oh, this was based off a prompt by Opt Prompts, and this is your URL if you guys want to go check that out, and I will try to put it in the description if I fucking remember. If I remember. And anyway, let's get started. Alright, winter midnight. Excuse me. It was late at night. The world was only illuminated by the soft glow of the full moon. I need to go to the bathroom. Be right back. Okay, I just barely started it, and I've come back from the bathroom, and I washed my hands and all that shit. Anyway, it was a late night. The world was only illuminated by the soft glow of a full moon and colored Christmas lights. Sitting by the window, Julia watched as snowflakes gently flitted down from the sky to blanket Salem in white. All cuddled up in a thick sweater as she sat in the sill, transfixed by the winter wonderland the town had become in recent days. Ronan, on the other hand, was busy in the kitchen, making them both a mug of hot chocolate. In truth, he would have preferred coffee, but Julia loved the stuff, so he drank it with her on occasion. Filling both cups, Ronan added small marshmallows to Julia's, before picking up the mugs and returning to the living room. Handing Julia hers, Ronan joined her in the window-sill and gave the world outside barely more than a quick glance. As she took her cup, Julia continued watching the scenery outside. To Ronan, it didn't seem much to look at. But it didn't take him long to realize something in that mind of hers was turning, thinking of something as she sipped her drink. "What are you thinking about, Julia?" Staring out the window for a moment, Julia soon turned to him and smiled. "We should go sledding." "What? Sledding?" "Yes, and I know the perfect place." "You want to go sledding?" She laughed. "Yes, Ronan, I want to go sledding. With you, just like Rex and I used to do when we were kids." "But we aren't kids, Julia." "Oh, come on. Is this the big scary detective afraid of a little snow?" The man snorted. "Of course not." "All right, fine. We'll go sledding." Setting down her now empty cup, Julia clapped her hands excitedly before standing, holding out her hands for his. "Okay, let's go." "Wait, now? You want to go now?" She nodded. "Yes! But we don't even have a sled." Rolling her eyes, Julia took Ronan's half-finished mug and set it down before taking him by the hands. "Don't worry," pulling him up from where he sat. Julia gave Ronan a large smile. "Just get on something warm and meet me in the car, okay?" Groaning, Ronan let himself be pulled in, and kissed. "All right, fine." Giving her a kiss back, Ronan let go of her hands and headed toward the bedroom for something warmer. Changing out of his work clothing, Ronan pulled on an old pair of jeans along with a long-sleeved shirt. He then got his coat from the rack, pulled it on, and headed outside to the car where Julia was waiting for him, already dressed in her winter clothing. And that cute little kawaii face. About a half an hour drive later, Julia had brought them to the middle of nowhere. He was thankful that she seemed to know where she was going, because honestly, Ronan didn't have a clue. Eventually, after driving through the snow and nearly getting stuck twice, Jesus fucking Christ, Julia pulled up to an old-looking wooden shed with red paint peeling off. Parking the car a few feet away and turning it off, Julia seemed more than excited. "Good! It's still here!" Getting out of the vehicle, Julia headed toward the shed and pulled out what looked like a very old set of keys. With a sigh, Ronan got out of the car as well, trudging through the snow to join her as she tried to find the right key. It was difficult, considering the mittens she was wearing, but eventually she found the right one, using it to unlock the rusted padlock, still safeguarding whatever the shed held. Shed. There you go. When the shed was open, Ronan took a look inside and noticed the thing was filled with a large array of odds and ends, including old wooden chairs, a table or two, and what looked like an old headboard to a bed. Eventually his eye settled on an old wooden sled which was sandwiched between a wall and a shelf. Unfortunately, by its size, Ronan wasn't completely confident it would hold both of them. Even still, when Julia asked him to pull it out, Ronan did. Shifting a few of the heavier objects around, Ronan was able to dislodge his shed after a bit of a fight. "So," he sighed, turning to her, "where's the hill?" Considering the area around the shed looked pretty flat, Ronan wasn't sure if they could actually use the old thing. However, Julia seemed confident and took the sled off his hands as he turned to shut the shed doors. Holy shit! "Follow me," as she handed the sled back to him to be carried. Julia was off, walking through the snow into the surrounding trees. With a sigh, Ronan took the sled under one arm and followed her, trailing closely behind her through the woods until they eventually came to a hill, a large hill at that. Alarm bells already going off in his head, Ronan looked down a bit unsure. You sure about this, Julia? Don't worry, Ronan, she giggled before giving him a kiss on the cheek. I'll be right with you the whole way down. Ronan still wasn't sure, but decided if this was what Julia really wanted, may as well do it. Making that decision, Ronan set the sled down near the hill's edge. Once he made sure it wouldn't slide down without them, Ronan looked up at Julia and gestured for her to take a seat. Giddy as a young child, Julia giggled and got onto the sled. On the sled. There you go. Situating herself before patting the wood behind her and looking back at Ronan, he was hesitant for a moment, but soon shrugged his shoulders. What could possibly go wrong anyway? It was just sledding. Sitting on the sled behind her, Ronan soon found his early concerns were correct. Fitting 2 adults on the sled wasn't easy or even practical. However, they eventually made it work. When they were ready, Julia clutched the sled's rope in her hands while Ronan planted the heels of his into the snow, ready to push them forward on Julia's cue and regretting that he had forgotten gloves. Let's go! Knowing there was no turning back now, Ronan pushed them forward and wrapped his arms around Julia as they began sliding down the hill, picking up speed the further they went. And in front of them, Julia was gleefully screaming and laughing, having the time of her life. Ronan, on the other hand, was just trying to hold on. He'd never admitted to her, but just because of his upbringing, this wasn't exactly something Ronan had done before. Not as a kid, not as a teen, and definitely not as an adult. In actuality, this was Ronan's very first time on a sled, but he had to admit, after getting over the height of the hill and the biting cold, Julia's cries of excitement were enough to make all this worthwhile. And enough that a smile quickly spread across his half-frozen face as he held the woman he loved a little tighter. And that was when the sled lost control. Oh no! Oh my god! Toppling over and sending both of them rolling down the hill for a few feet after finally coming to a stop. Now on his back, Ronan groaned and looked up at the stars as the sled eventually slid into his side with a gentle tap. Why did I let you talk me into this, Ronan spoke, his body now covered in snow and even colder than before. However, Julia didn't seem to share the man's dismay, and stood in victory, her arms in the air, she laughed. That was amazing! Jogging over to him, Julia smiled and held out one of her gloved hands. Come on, let's go again! No, once was enough. Oh, come on, Ronan, please. It's not really sledding if you only do it once. Sighing, Ronan took her hands and let her help him up from the ground. Once on his feet, Ronan brushed the snow off his jacket's pants and dislodged a few clumps from his hair. Looking at Julia finally, he wanted to refuse, go back home and warm up by the heater, but one look into those eyes of hers, and the detective caved. All right, I guess we'll go one more time, but then that's it, okay? With a pleased smile, Julia placed her hands on his cheeks. Thank you, Ronan. Tipping forward, Julia planted a kiss on his lips before abruptly pulling away. But you get to carry the sled back up. What? He wasn't able to question it before Julia was running up the hill and leaving him behind. Hey, wait a minute, that isn't fair. Sledding was your idea, Julia. Laughing, she continued to run, leaving Ronan behind at the bottom of the hill. Breathing out his nose, Ronan placed his hands on his hips and slowly shook his head. Come on, slowpoke. The faster you get the sled up the hill, the faster we can go home. Julia called over her shoulder, the woman's voice barely carried by the wind. Sighing heavily, Ronan bent down and lifted the sled from its place in the snow, tucking it under his arm before making his way up the hill and grumbling, I'm coming. Of course, Julia had settled for just one more time. Instead, they went 5 more rounds, and to tell the truth, each go down the hill, Ronan found himself enjoying sledding just a little more. It wasn't until they finally stopped and headed back to the car that Ronan realized how miserable he was. His clothing were soaked through, even his socks were wet, causing him to shake and pray the ride home would be quick. When they finally arrived back to the apartment, Ronan was frozen and soaked to the bone, left shivering in the doorway as he kicked off his snow-encrusted boots. To tell the truth, hot chocolate sounded pretty good about now. I told you to dress warm, Ronan, Julia teased as they both headed back to the bathroom to take off their snow-soaked clothing. Hanging the articles in the shower to dry off. Maybe you'll remember better clothing next time. By now, they were only in their underwear. Ronan, ready to pull on some warm clothing and hop into bed, he blinked when Julia's statement finally registered in his brain. Wait, next time? What do you mean, next time? Yes, next time, she giggled. Who knows, maybe we can con Rex into coming along. Drying himself off with a towel, Ronan replied with a slight shake of his head. He'll probably be too busy, considering he was a lieutenant and all. And how the hell aren't you cold? Julia smiled. Because, unlike you, I dress warm. Taking the towel from him, Julia placed her hands on his shoulders and coaxed Ronan out of the bathroom while he wrapped his arms around his chest. Come on, you big goof, let's get you warmed up. Oh. Following her into the bedroom with a nod, Ronan helped to get dressed into some PJs. But instead, Julia pulled him over to the bed. Ha ha ha, here we go. Crawling into bed with her, Ronan settled in as Julia held him tightly to her chest, covering them both with a thick, dark blue comforter. For a while, Ronan was still cold and shivering, but eventually, after a few moments, cuddled up to Julia, and his body began to warm a little and settled. When his teeth finally stopped chattering, Ronan nuzzled Julia's collarbone and gave her damp skin a kiss. I love you, Julia. She smiled, hugging him tightly and tracing her fingers over one of his tattoos. I love you too, Ronan. God fucking damn it! There was no smut, and I was so excited for that. Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna comment. Anyway, awesome story! But yes, oh, I was so excited. Anyway, so, yes. That was A Winter Midnight by aka Shaw Flip's Desk. And I will try to remember to put this into the description below. And so you guys can read it yourself and enjoy it yourself and look at all this other stuff. And thank you for watching episode 5? Episode 5, I think, of, First Time Fanfictions. Please make sure to hit that like button down below, press that big red button, and subscribe to our awesome channel. And I will see you guys next time.